However, one thing that I've wanted to talk about tonight. So let's talk a bit about. We're going to pull up some articles on NPR that I saw, some like national news. And, damn it, I'm having trouble finding these fucking stories that I was reading about. That's right. Here, I found it on the AP. So, one thing that I wanted to talk about tonight was, here we go. A cybersecurity official fired by Trump has sued his campaign over the constant fucking threats he is getting now. This is Chris Krebs. Chris Krebs was a U.S. Cybersecurity official who was fired last month by President Donald Trump over because Chris Krebs is he was in charge of he was the director of the Cyber Security and Infrastructure Security Agency, and he has testified that the 2020 election was reliable and was not fucking rigged or stolen or anything like that. And he was like countering Trump's disinformation, and so of course he's supposed to toe the line of bullshit, and he's supposed to like spew the line of bullshit, and he got fired. Well, now he has filed a lawsuit as of Tuesday over threatening remarks by a lawyer for the president that prompted this wave of death threats against him. Christopher Krebs says in the suit that he has been bombarded with threats since attorney Joseph DeGeneva appeared on the pro-Trump TV network Newsmax and called for Krebs to be killed. Yep, yeah, I mean, that's like kind of the story of Trump's life, isn't it, right? This guy actually, like, went on Newsmax and called for Chris Krebs to be killed? The defendant's threats have upended the plaintiff's life as well as his family's security and caused serious fear, distress, suffering, and even physical damage, he said in the lawsuit filed in DeGeneva's state of Maryland. Amid the threats, Crump, a Republican who was appointed by Donald Trump, was forced to move out of his house in Virginia for several days and hire private security. He still keeps his children from playing in their front yard out of fear. It has fundamentally uprooted their lives, according to attorney Jim Walden. He and his family feel terribly threatened. Krebs was director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency until he was fired in a November 17th tweet by the whole Donald Trump firing people on Twitter thing has always just been like so absurd and disgusting. Was fired in November 17th tweet by Trump after he and other officials who oversaw the election determined it was free of major fraud or interference, contradicting the president's unsubstantiated assertions to the contrary. Yeah, these people have lost their shit. DeGeneva said in a November 30th appearance on Newsmax that Krebs should be drawn and quartered and taken out at dawn and shot for his defense. Yo, if I was saying that shit about somebody on my Twitch stream, I would totally get fucking banned from this shit. Like, what the fuck? And this dude's this is a lawyer for the fucking president. Oh my god, sure. He later said that he had been joking in the interview, but the lawsuit calls the fact that you were joking doesn't fucking matter with how rabid the Trump cult is, asshole. He later said he had been joking in the interview, but calls the remarks shockingly irresponsible. But the lawsuit calls the response shockingly irresponsible and very dangerous in this tense political climate because they are. It's correct to call them that. Walden said it's part of a broader effort by the president's allies to intimidate public officials, especially Republicans, to prevent them from refuting baseless allegations about the vote. No one should be targeted and defamed as a traitor for faithfully performing the duties of public service, he said. This is what happened to Chris and to Republicans all across the country who truthfully and based on their substantial experience are upholding the integrity of the election in the face of the false narrative regarding its results. Krebs is seeking financial damages from DeGeneva, Newsmax, and the Trump campaign. I think he's entitled to them too. Those people know that they are basically, they have this like cult of people by the balls. Newsmax said in response to questions about the suit that it has no official ties to DeGeneva, who is appearing on a syndicated radio program whose content is licensed by the network. Noted that his remarks about Krebs were inappropriate, but that he did not intend for them to be taken seriously and has apologized. Of course, Newsmax is going to send for the guy. Newsmax believes that claims made by Mr. Krebs in his suit of a conspiracy and defamation against him are a threat to free speech, and his legal action endangers all media organizations that seek an open fucking discourse of news and ideas. According to the net, an open fucking discourse. Oh, really? Just like having people on TV telling like a rabid personality cult this guy deserves to be fucking killed. The Trump campaign did not immediately respond to requests for comment. A former Microsoft executive, Krebs ran the agency, known as CISA, from its creation in the wake of Russian interference in the 2000 election through the 2016 election through the November election. He won bipartisan praise as CISA coordinated federal, state, and local efforts to defend electoral systems from foreign or domestic interference. CISA issued in a statement in November with a coalition of government and industry election officials from around the country that defended the 2020 election as the most secure in American history. It was widely reviewed as a direct repudiation of Trump's efforts to undermine the integrity of the contest. And that's all this article has to say. But yeah, so this is some pretty wild shit, and we're about to pull up something else that will show you why this is happening so much. I saw this little disturbing piece of information on NPR earlier today. Just a quarter of Republicans accept the outcome of the fucking election. A solid majority of Americans trust that the result of the 2020 presidential election are accurate, but only about a quarter of Republicans do, according to a new NPR PBS NewsHour Marist survey. 61% of Americans as a whole say they trust the results, including 2/3 of independents like myself. However, just 24% of the Republican respondents say they accepted the results. So actually, here's the direct survey right here. It's just images. Survey of 1,065 adults was conducted December 1st through December 6, 2020 by the Marist poll, sponsored in partnership with NPR and PBS NewsHour. Adults 18 and older residing in the United States were contacted on landline or mobile numbers and interviewed by telephone using live interviewers. Survey questions were available in English or Spanish. Mobile telephone numbers were randomly selected based on. I actually used to like. I never did political surveys, but I did like market research surveys over the phone for a job for a brief period of time, and then I quit and went back to delivering pizza because it made me want to fucking die. But so I know a little bit about how this shit is carried out. Actually, mobile numbers were randomly selected based upon a list of telephone exchanges throughout the nation from Dynata. The exchanges were selected to ensure that each region was represented in proportion to its population. Mobile phones are treated as individual devices. After validation of age, personal ownership, and non business use of the mobile phone, interviews are typically conducted with the person answering the phone. To increase coverage, this mobile sample was supplemented by respondents reached random dialing of landline numbers. Within each landline household, blah, 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 blah. Samples were then combined and balanced to reflect the 2010 American Community Survey 1 year estimates for age, gender, income, race, religion, or region. My bad. Assistance was provided by Loose Research for data collection. Results are statistically significant within plus or minus 3.7 percentage points. There are 916 registered voters. The results for this subset are statistically significant within 4.0 percentage points. The tables include results for subgroups that may only display crosstabs with an acceptable sampling error. It should be noted that although you may blah 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 blah. All right, let's do you approve or disapprove Donald Trump of the job Donald Trump is doing? Oh, let's look at this. So 37% approval for his handling of the coronavirus pandemic. 59% disapproval among national adults. 37 to 60 approval to disapproval among national registered voters that were polled. Then 4 and 3% respectively unsure. Party identification. So only 4% of Democrats approved of this. Here, I'm going to. Only 4% of Democrats approve of the handling of the coronavirus pandemic by President Trump. 95% of Democrats disapprove. 82% of Republicans approve the way he's handling the coronavirus. 15% for only 15% of Republicans disapprove, 2% unsure. Independents, it's basically almost like a 2-to-1 ratio, disapprove to approve. Now let's keep scrolling through here. Favorable impression of Joe Biden, don't give a shit. I want to find the. Now this is one I'm going to find funny, actually. So, do you approve or disapprove of the job Joe Biden is doing on the transition? Among national registered voters, 56 to 29% approve to disapprove, with 16% unsure. Democrats, that's 81 to 9%. Republicans, it's 22% approve, 61% disapprove. Really shocks me that Republicans approve or disapprove at all because so many Republicans don't recognize Joe Biden as the president elect. 59% of independents approve of Joe Biden, the job he's trying to do. But it's funny to me that the Republicans would really have an opinion on a transition at all, because not only does Donald Trump not fucking acknowledge that he lost the election, really, like openly. He hints at that he acknowledges it, but how can 61% disapprove of Joe Biden's handling of the transition if Donald Trump won't even fucking let any transition happen until like very recently? But I want to find the thing about the accepting the result of the election. I don't give a shit about unifying and dividing the country. Don't give a shit about the poll results about foreign policy. I give a shit about the how many Republicans. I want to see the actual result on the survey that only 1/4 of Republicans accept the results of the election, like trust the results of the election. Here's just the data right here, actually. So fuck it. Do you trust that the results of the 2020 election are accurate? Overall, 61 to 34% yes to no, with 5% unsure. Democrats, it's 95% of respondents. Republicans, it's less than a quarter, with it won't even tell me how many unsure, with 72% of Republicans responding to this survey, saying they don't trust the results of the election. Independents, on the other hand, like about 2/3 of independents trust the results of the election as well. But and I believe there's more independents than members of either major party. Nonetheless, President Joe Biden is set to take office in the coronavirus pandemic. Set to take office January 20th. Coronavirus pandemic will be a central focus. On that front, Americans largely have confidence in Biden's ability to handle the crisis, and the number saying they'll take a vaccine when it comes available has risen over the past few months. But skepticism about vaccine is driven by Republicans, and particularly Republican women. A rocky transition. More than a month after, I can totally imagine the kind of. I just have like the imagine of the kind of like awful but totally existing stereotypes of like suburban Republican women that are feeling this kind of like insanity. More than a month after Biden won the election and was declared president elect. President Trump continues to baselessly allege widespread voter fraud and falsely claim the outcome is not yet known. We're gonna have to see who the next administration is because we won in the swing states, Trump said Tuesday when asked why he wasn't including Biden transition officials during a coronavirus summit. Hopefully, the next administration will be the Trump administration. It isn't going to be. Unlike past presidents, Trump has refused to formally concede the election. That's something 2/3 of Americans think he should do, according to the survey. However, that of course 62% of Republicans don't think he should. Strong majority of American. While he may not be acknowledging his loss publicly, behind the scenes, Trump has been discussing the possibility of running again in 2024, sources tell NPR. Strong majority of Americans, 60%, don't want him to run again, but 2/3 of Republicans do. This effectively freezes the potential 2024 Republican primary field. This is so fucking crazy. As far as Biden goes, most Americans so far approve of how he's handling himself during the transition. That's more than 49% that approves of the job Trump was doing during the 2016 transition. What's more, by a 59 to 35% margin, Americans think Biden will do more to unite than divide the country. That's far higher than the 43 to 53 margin for whether Trump in 2016 would do more to unite and divide. Oh, I'm sorry, then divide. There's not going to be a honeymoon from olden politics days, but there does appear to be some room with people willing to give Biden a chance, said Lee Maringoff, director for Marist Institute for Public Opinion, which conducted the poll. Of course, coronavirus had an impact on all this. Damn, this is a long article. But still, do you think, through the coronavirus, do you think National X plan is a good idea? Stay-at-home order, that's kind of a sharply divided one. 51 to 45, 4% unsure. 73% are in favor of a national mask mandate, according to this survey. Among Democrats, 78% support a national stay-at-home order. 4% are unsure to 19%. That 96% support a national mask mandate. Republicans, on the other hand, only 47% support even the national mask mandate, with only like a quarter of them supporting the stay-at-home order. That's about the same number of Republicans that trust the results of the presidential election. Survey of 1,065 adults. Margin of error 3.7 percentage points. There are 916 registered voters. Among that crowd of U.S. adults, margin of error of around 4.0. Oh, I'm sorry, margin of error 4.0 percentage points still. Regardless of any margins of error, this all shows some very disturbing trends. What we have here is we're dealing with the consequences of a cult of personality. The cult of personality has become so pervasive that the cult of personality and the shit they spew literally has become the constructed reality of an enormous portion of people. As you could see, 25% of Republicans support like a national stay-at-home order. Less than half of like responding Republicans supported a national mask mandate. And then also, only like a quarter of Republicans surveyed in this, said that they trusted the results of the fucking election. This is all cases of people mindlessly. The personality cult is so pervasive. These people look at Donald as the political equivalent of the way they look at Kenneth Copeland or whatever stupid fucking grifter televangelist scumbag they watch on TV who they think is doing some like awesome good for the world when he's just stealing people's money and buying more private jets with it and then telling people to continue tithing while they're like getting laid off and shit. They have this cult of personality. The Donald Trump is only the most recent manifestation of it. They created a cult of personality out of Reagan. They've created a cult of personality of the founding fathers, and the most disturbing thing that I think they've created cult of personality around is they've created a cult of personality around an inanimate object, a fucking legal document, the Constitution. If you notice that there's a cult of the Constitution in the United States, it is designed to be amended. You suggest amending it, though, a lot of people like call you a blasphemer. Now we're dealing with the effects of this. There's been this cult of the Constitution that we created, and now the cult of the Constitution has assigned faces to that like constitutional cult that have really become the like worst faces to assign to it, such as Donald Trump. It was Ronald Reagan before, now it's all about Donald Trump. The Republican Party is really nothing more than the Donald Trump personality cult party, to a degree to which it's actually become incredibly disturbing. 24% of Republicans responding to this survey, fucking 24% of Republicans responding to this survey accept the results of the election. And this The consequences of people being this roped into it are you have a guy like Chris Krebs, who is somebody who he is a Republican and he was appointed by Donald Trump, but he is not a member of the personality cult, and he wasn't willing to spew bullshit on their behalf. He got fired for it. Some guy went on the cult TV and said, "We must kill the blasphemer." And now people are threatening this guy and they want to kill this fucking guy. These Trumpists they're drooling. They're fucking foaming at the mouth wanting to kill this guy. They sit around talking about how much of a communist he is and like rooting through their beer guts to find their fucking penises and jerk off about fucking shooting this guy and killing all the commies and oh, we gotta purge all the commies from the United States. Ah, man, this is our we gotta fight for the founding fathers and the founding fathers, and they would have never accept communisms and the founding fathers and we gotta and Donald Trump has promised to us in the Bible to save us from these satanic Democrat pedophile lizard people. I, I'm just kind of compiling everything I've like heard from these people. I've heard it all. Heard it all, and it's all fucking ridiculous. But yeah, the Proud Boys who like try to claim they're the victims of violence, but literally celebrate themselves on being some like political fight club that goes and starts fights with people over like especially people who don't like their cult godhead. People who deny this is a cult of personality are completely divorced from fucking reality. Absolutely divorced from reality. There is no way you can actually like see this shit happening and say that Donald Trump hasn't built a giant cult of personality around himself. Once again, if you don't think that there is an active cult of personality, I have a fucking bridge to tell you. How can one sit there and look at this gigantic reality divide where it is like pretty fucking obvious that Joe Biden won the election and all these ridiculous legal challenges by the Trump campaign that are coming up with fucking nothing. Now the Texas state government is like suing other states to try to like to try to get them to try to get the Supreme Court to like overrule results in other states to try to like force the Trump cult on the country for a longer period of time, plunges further into fascism. And people drool about it, and then they want to kill people like Chris Krebs, one of their own, who just didn't want to spew the such blatant bullshit to the public. The guy viewed himself as a public servant, not just some like weird pawn to, not just some pawn to like toe the Donald Trump line and cultivate this cult of personality. You see this shit. You know how much Trumpists love to fucking whine and bitch about China? Well, funny, because China has also you would think they would love a country that has such an enormous cult of personality around their leader. Where I'm surprised these people haven't like made cell phone apps that they like make their kids install on their phones called like morality American patriotism lessons with Donald Trump. America. Because that's what you have in China. You have like this mobile game called that's literally it's like a play on words. The title is a play on words, basically to mean like learn with Xi, as in Xi Jinping. Where this game, it's this like weird mobile game that just like addictively teaches you socialism with Chinese characteristic with character shows. My apologies. Socialism with Chinese characteristics, aka Xi Jinping tanky fucking bullshit. Or wait, that's right. Now they even call it. They call the like current philosophy Xi Jinping thought. How do people not see the parallels between the tanky government and the Chinese tanky government and the like cult of personality that the United States is trying to foster? And these people that follow it, they're wait, that's right. They're the people that are parts of this cult are all like ultra nationalist fucking hypocrites. Where it's like things are only wrong if like the Chinese do it or something. I don't know, man. I'm at the end of my rope with this fucking bullshit. This is so fucking. This is so utterly fucking ridiculous, and I like hope we can escape. I hope we can like crawl out of the fascist rabbit hole and start going in a better direction. Not as far, probably will never be as far left as I really hope it would be, but start going a more leftward direction than the straight up like ultra nationalist fascist cult of personality that a significant hunk of the country seems to want to force on everybody, even though it's absolutely insane and completely fucking divorced from reality. But we're already seeing the consequences of the cult of personality. The reality divide, the people who speak out against the personality cult being like threatened by just like not even the government goons. One like goon that works for the Trump campaign goes on Newsmax, says some guy should be fucking killed for being a traitor because he's not like licking Trump's balls 24/7. And this guy has had to like move out of his house for a few days, hire private security. He won't let his fucking kids play in the front yard. And the guy in Georgia, the Secretary of the Department of State of Georgia official. Department of Georgia Secretary of State's office continues to speak out against this crazy bullshit.
There's absolutely nothing convenient about getting into a wreck. That's why we are. You can call or text us anytime, day or night, at 912-755-9500. The Dozier Law Firm. We're here when you need us.
The Trump cult is why we have.
Okay. Let me get rid of that thing. Okay. Good morning. I'm glad you're here bright and early. I'm sure you have a place to be probably around 10 o'clock.
Is this the same guy that I'm thinking of?
Since the election on November 3rd. We have now counted legally cast ballots 3 times, and the results remain unchanged. As Secretary of State, I have worked to secure the vote for all Georgians.
Oh, this is the Secretary of State. This isn't the other official. Or is it? Are they both in the same video?
People have asked me what it's like
God
to
damn
work
it.
with Father, and I can tell you it has been a privilege to work.
Okay, we get it. The Dozier Law Firm's cool. Oh, look, they're totally not like racist white dudes. They're shaking hands with a black man. Okay, this is like 20-something minutes long. Let's skip to the Secretary.
Made ballots into us. They're on the absentee ballot.
To direct our energies to prosperity here.
First, as the Secretary.
And enjoy prosperity here in Georgia. Thank you.
Good morning. Didn't bring my computer today because we only have a few numbers to go through. First, as the Secretary pointed out, we will be recertifying today. We are waiting on the County Elections Board.
God damn it. Here we go. Yeah, the cult of personality. My whole point of trying to find this was the cult of personality is the reason why we have this guy. Look at how worked up and pissed off he is.
Good afternoon. My name is Gabriel Sterling.
He's a Republican in Georgia.
for the state of Georgia. And just
Work for the Georgia Secretary of State's office.
Press conference today. And at the beginning of this, I'm going to do my best to keep it together, because it has all gone too far. All of it. Joe DeGenova today asked for Chris Krebs, a patriot who ran CISA, to be shot. A 20-something.
We were just talking about that before. That lawyer going on going on a fucking pro-Trump news network, Newsmax, calling for that dude to be shot. That guy has to practically live in hiding in fear now.
Tech in Gwinnett County today has death threats and a noose put out saying he should be hung for treason because he was transferring a report on batches from an EMS to a county computer so he could read it. It has to stop. Mr. President, you have not condemned these actions or this language. Senators, you have not condemned this language or these actions. This has to stop. We need you to step up, and if you're going to take a position of leadership, show some. My boss, Secretary Raffensperger, his address is out there. They have people doing caravans in front of their house. They've had people come onto their property. Tricia, his wife of 40 years, is getting sexualized threats through her cell phone. It has to stop. This is elections. This is the backbone of democracy, and all of you who have not said a damn word are complicit in this.
They are.
It's too much. Yes, fight for every legal vote. Go through your due process. We encourage you, use your First Amendment. That's fine. Death threats, physical threats, intimidation. It's too much. It's not right. They've lost the moral high ground to claim that it is. I don't have all the best words to do this because I'm angry. And the straw that broke the camel's back today is, again, this 20-year-old contractor for a voting system company just trying to do his job. Just there. In fact, I talked to Dominion today, and I said he's one of the better ones they got. His family's getting harassed now. There's a noose out there with his name on it. It's not right. I've got police protection outside my house. Fine. You know, I took a higher profile job. I get it. Secretary ran for office. His wife knew that too. This kid took a job. He just took a job. And it's just wrong. I can't begin to explain the level of anger I have right now over this. And every American, every Georgian, Republican and Democrat alike should have that same level of anger.
It's a shame you don't see more Republicans
Mr.
feeling
President,
like this guy.
It looks like you likely lost the state of Georgia. We're investigating. There's always a possibility. I get it. And you have the rights to go through the courts. What you don't have the ability to do, and you need to step up and say this.
Basically, his whole point is stop being a sore fucking loser about it. Stop having your legal goons and encouraging violence against public officials because you're salty about the results of the election. Yeah, the sign language interpreter was really, really fucking good. That guy, I wish I knew what his name was, so I could say what his name is and give props to this guy as a sign language interpreter, because he is
Stop inspiring people to commit potential acts of violence.
He's doing a great job.
Someone's going to get shot.
I have no idea
And it's not right.
How sign language really works, but
right.
he seems to be doing a pretty good fucking job.
Like I said, I'm going to do my best to keep it together. All of this is wrong. DeGenova, who said for Chris Krebs to get shot, is a former U.S. attorney. He knows better. The people and the president know better. Mr. President, as the secretary said yesterday, people aren't giving you the best advice on what's actually going on the ground. It's time to look forward. If you want to run for re-election in 4 years, fine, do it. But everything we're seeing right now, there's not a path. Be the bigger man here and step in, tell your supporters, don't be violent, don't intimidate. All that's wrong. It's un-American.
Oh, the interpreter? I am not sure what that was strapped to his ass, but yeah, that kind of looked like a gun. But yeah, so reason why we're having like state officials giving out speeches like that, and former public officials who got fired suing the presidential campaign over getting death threats is because we are already dealing. This is all the consequence of living in a personality cult. The like extreme vitriolic hatred for people who like do not just blindly follow it. And then these people claim they're free thinkers and they're like, "Oh, the storm's coming, Democrats." I'm not a Democrat either. I fucking hate the Democratic Party. I think they're a useless fucking party, but Jesus Christ, they're not doing the personality cult shit. There's one goddamn thing that the Biden administration will have. It's not going to be people being like, going on the news and being like, "Oh, you questioned Biden, you should be killed." That is why I will always say bullshit when people try to tell me that Joe Biden is like a fascist or something. He sucks. He is a lame, like, party Democrat, good old boy liberal. But those types are generally not extreme perpetrators of cults of personality the same way that Donald Trump has been. I'll admit there's a bit of a personality cult around Obama, and Bernie Sanders kind of has a personality cult too, but it is not like how pervasive this Trump cult has become. This is bad. We gotta figure out how to escape this shit. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw here, be sure to like and subscribe and go over to my Twitch channel for live broadcasts. If you would like to support future videos and live streams, go on over to my Patreon. I got links in the description below. Thanks again. Fuck. I can't speak right now. God damn it. Fuck.